Sometimes in talking about active pause, I mentioned the phrase felt sense. And you may or may not be familiar with it. People who are familiar with focusing use that phrase a lot. And sometimes people who are new to focusing or to other places where the phrase felt sense is used feel a little bit intimidated by it. What does it mean? Is it a sensation? Is it a fuzzy feeling? But what is it? And, getting intimidated by it makes it harder to get it because you wonder if it's something that you have to be trained for or how to classify what you have. And the more you get into a sense of wondering what it is or should be, the harder it is to actually get in touch with whatever felt sense you might have. So let's start by saying that felt sense is something that every human being is equipped to have. It's part of what we perceive, what we feel, what we sense. So the idea is actually, the more complicated we make it, the harder it is to get in touch with it. And there's many ways to get to it, but personally, I kind of like the idea of starting to almost get yourself physically in movement. There's no special movements that I would suggest, but simply have a sense of your body moving a little bit, your shoulders, it could be your arms, it could be your torso, your hips, but getting a sense of movement. And when you have that sense of movement, just paying attention to what it is. It would be very hard to describe. It's not quite sensation. It's not quite, objective description from the outside, but you're able to perceive something from the inside. You're perceiving yourself in movement, okay? Well, so in any situation that we're in, we're actually responding more or less consciously to what's happening in the environment. If it is beautiful outside and the weather is warm and everything, it's more likely to feel relaxed and to feel as if we're received with open arms. And so probably what's happening is the body is kind of expanding in response to that. When it's cold and rainy, we kind of have a tendency to crunch up a little bit as if we were going into a shell to be more protected against the aggressions of the outside. So, again, feeling that as some kind of an implicit movement, okay, that is happening. You notice something pleasant, somebody passing by, smiling at you, and you notice yourself having a tendency to smile. And again, think of that as movement and response. So not to, think of that in a very static way as, there's got to be something, that is present as if it were an object or a state, but something that might be a little bit more fluid. That is an implicit response to what has happened. And my sense of it is, again, if you just go, implicit response, what could it be? Then you get stuck. You're not in movement. You tense up, okay? So again, you follow the rhythm of noticing when you tense up and when you open up. And as you do that, then you're actually practicing paying attention and tracking to the subtleties of the felt sense in response to your environment.